Hello, everybody. It is, oh gosh, what is today? Monday, November 9th. I believe it's November 9th. And I am Ashley Fields with Yardarus, and tonight we're going to be doing our silhouette glittered angels. So these come as a pair, they come as a set, so that you are able to either face them together or put something, you can put something in the middle, or face them opposite. Most people are going to face them together. Hey Phaedra, how are you, hun? I'm so glad you're here. Y'all, now that it's dark at 7, because the time changed, I'm having to play with the ring light a little bit more. So if the lighting's off, let me know. I can turn it off, but it's a little bit darker in here, so I'm trying to keep it on so that you guys can see. Hey Debbie, hey Carla, I'm so glad you're here tonight. My mom's uncle passed away a few days ago, and so she had to go to the viewing today. So she called me yesterday and asked if I could do her live tonight, and I said, sure, no problem. I happen to have a set already cut here at the house, ready to go, and this will honestly probably be the fastest live ever because it's glittering, and it's just, this is all I'm doing. I can do this in less than 5 minutes, you know? It's not something really difficult. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into it. Anybody who's watched the Joy tutorial, the stocking tutorial, anything that's solid glitter, it's really the same concept no matter what you're doing. So same thing that we're gonna be doing tonight, you guys have probably already seen. So some of you who have already seen some of the lives, you know, this is really just gonna be maybe a refresher. Those of you who haven't seen a solid glitter live, you know, maybe this is brand new for you. But either way, this is something anybody can achieve very easily. No paintbrush is needed other than maybe touching up the sides, right? So first thing I'm going to do, y'all, I'm going to use a 4-inch roller. I have a little dried up paint right there. Let me get that out of there. I'm just going to use a 4-inch roller. The reason I'm going to use a roller is that's going to give me the most consistent base for my paint and my glitter, right? Because anytime that you're glittering, excuse me, you want an even coat across the top so that your glitter looks, you know, like there's an even coat underneath. If you do that with a paintbrush sometimes, you might have like thicker streaks from the paint, and then once you glitter that, the glitter will almost seep down into the bottom of those streaks, and you'll kind of see a difference. So for me, anytime I glitter, I always use rollers. I never, ever, ever use a paintbrush. You can get a roller set up at Home Depot. It's like, it comes with this little roller right here and a plastic handle, and I think it's $2 or $3. So rollers are going to be your best bet for glitter, but yes, you can use paintbrushes. The consistency part is just easier to achieve with rollers. So I'm just going to take some white paint and go ahead and squirt it on. All right. Now, because I am doing this all at once, obviously, I'm gonna have to come in at this moment, and I'm making sure to get these sides really, really good. You're only really gonna put one coat of paint on here, so you only have basically one opportunity to do all of the painting that you need to do at once. Now, if you're somebody who maybe moves a little bit slower, and you're just not somebody who moves at a quick pace, you don't know that you can get this done and dry, or drying all around the same time, then perhaps you could put a coat of white on and paint the sides, and then come back once that dries and do another coat across the top and glitter at that point if you know, you need to do that. But for me, I typically move pretty quick, so I know I can get all of this done, and I really don't have to worry about it drying too fast on me. Also, this isn't something in the heat of the summer, you know, if it's 90 degrees outside, you're not gonna wanna glitter in direct sunlight because it will dry very quickly. So let me just show you. So far, I kind of put the paint in the middle and loaded in the middle and got all of my corners done so that I don't have to worry about that. Oh, I thought I got all my corners done. I just seen, oopsie, missed a little bit. Okay, now, the most important thing when you're glittering is to just have a very consistent and even coat. Consistency is key to make sure that your glitter has something to stick to, right? Because if you get it too thin on here, It doesn't matter how much poly you put on it, how much like spray protectant you put on it, it's gonna fall off if it doesn't have something underneath there to really hang on to. So you don't want it to be so thick that there's globs, but you want it to be thick enough that you don't have to worry about the glitter falling off after you have polyed it. All right, so now I'm honestly just going back and forth, y'all. I kind of come in at one direction and start getting my paint on there. And then as I'm smoothing, I almost switch to the opposite direction just to make sure that that consistency is the same all across the board. All right. Now, as soon as you get done with your piece and you have that same consistency of paint all across the top of it, you want to immediately go ahead and glitter. So I actually have a cat litter box. Okay, this is how I mix my glitter. And I have all my glitter in here. So this is that crystal clear mixed with a little bit of silver. You guys obviously can purchase this mixture already. I think it's like clear mixture is what it's called. It's just basically a lot of clear with a little bit of silver. But this one's already mixed. I'm using a sifter. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. It's like a giant sifter. I like these better than using the bottles or the jars. The jars are a little bit more difficult to get a quick and even coat. You want a fast coat, get you a dollar sifter at Dollar Tree. So, shake off that excess. Ta-da! There is a silhouette glitter angel. It's that easy. We're gonna repeat the exact same thing on our next angel, and then our pair will be done. Other than that, as soon as it dries, you can spray it with poly and then paint the back. I'm going to just clean my table off. I work with glitter a lot, and one thing about glitter is it gets everywhere, right? We all have learned that. Anybody who's worked with glitter so far, you know it gets everywhere. And one of my biggest pet peeves is having glitter on the floor where I'm walking around and my feet are crunching as I'm walking. So I try to always make sure that I'm doing a good job on the cleanup of glitter so that I don't have to really deal with it and track it in the house and track it everywhere. That's never fun. So, all right, I'm just loading up some paint and go ahead and get these edges. Now remember, anytime you're doing solid glitter, you're gonna have to work fast. You don't want that top drying. If you're somebody who works slower, no worries. Just do maybe a coat on the bottom, let it dry, and then once you get done with that, you can always come back and do a top coat over it and glitter the top coat. And the nice thing about doing something like that, if you prefer to maybe do what I'm doing right now and allow it to dry, because maybe you're doing it with a paintbrush or you just prefer to move slower, that's totally fine. But then if you want to come back and do a top coat over it that you're going to glitter, you don't necessarily have to do the sides again. So that might kind of take away some of the time that you're having to spend on your coats of paint, if that makes any sense. I can tell I don't quite have enough. I like to make sure I have enough paint on here. I almost think of it like I'm making a sandwich, whether it's peanut butter and jelly or ham or turkey or whatever the case is. You know, if it's peanut butter and jelly, I want that peanut butter and I want that jelly a consistent kind of layer all the way across the bread. I don't want to leave out the corners. You know, I want to make sure that every bite taken out of that sandwich is going to be the same. And I kind of think about that when I'm painting. I want to make sure that every piece of this pattern that I'm doing is consistent, right? So I want that paint to be consistent so that my finished look is consistent. So now that I come in here and I have enough paint, I might even just put just a little bit more on there. And I'm gonna kind of just go now the opposite direction that I was kind of going earlier. And I'm only doing that to make sure that I've spread out all the paint, that I have a really good even coat. All right, before I start my glittering. Okay, now I'm good and I'm even on that. I'm gonna go ahead and put my roller back up. Yo, I think this video is gonna be, I told you guys earlier, probably the fastest live I've ever done. But I'm serious. It's really just that easy. The solid glitter stuff can go so quickly. So if you're somebody who makes pieces to sell, maybe you do craft shows, or maybe you sell your stuff in a boutique or some kind of store, or whatever the case is, online, these silhouette pieces are going to be the fastest things that you can do. So they can be a little bit better as far as a return on your time and the money that you spend into it. Solid glitter might be a better option for you. So I made sure and shook enough on there that my entire piece is coated. All right. And then I kind of just sloshed off the excess. Now, the good thing about this excess is that I can save it. I don't have to throw it away. I'm going to pick my bucket back up, and I'm just going to simply brush it all right back into my bucket. You guys have the jars that you're using, that's fine. Sweep it into a little sweeper pan, like the little dust pans, you know, that come on your broom. Sweep it into there, turn it sideways, and dump it back into your jar. It's always reusable. And just like that, I don't know how many minutes it's been, I can't tell you, but it's been really fast. We have our silhouette angel set finished. Whoa. Ta-da! And there you have it, y'all. It's as easy as that. The silhouette glitter is something that I really, truly feel like anybody can achieve. It's not difficult, and it's rather quick. So those of you that have maybe done a joy so far, or I'm trying to think what other silhouette things we might have had other than the joy. I don't know. Oh, the stocking. Stocking's another one. You know, maybe you've gotten a little taste of the glitter and how fast it can go. So just like that, it's as easy as that. We don't put outline on here. We don't do anything else to the face other than putting poly on. So tomorrow I can spray them with poly. I do not roll the poly on. It'll instantly turn yellow because this glitter is going to soak up a lot of that poly. So if I use a roller, that roller is going to throw down a lot of poly, and I don't want to do that. So I spray the poly on, and then at that point, all I got to do is paint the back. And it's as simple as that, y'all. So there is our silhouette glittered angels. I haven't seen any comments come in. I think this is probably, you know, a real simple tutorial. But if there's any comments that have come in or any questions that have come in, I'm obviously happy to make sure that I respond to those after the tutorial. My apologies that Mary couldn't be here tonight. Like I said, she had a death in the family, and she went to the viewing today. So she asked me if I could fill in. I said, sure, no problem. And so that is what we got for our silhouette angels. Now, while I have a couple of you here, I know I don't have many of you here, I want to show you guys, I know I have a flamingo tutorial coming up. I'm not 100% sure when it is. I think it's next week. Y'all, I've been gone all last week in Indiana with family. We went to a family wedding. So my family and I drove up to Indiana last week, and we just got back yesterday. So my calendar and my timeline are kind of thrown off right now. So I'm not 100% sure when I have this tutorial coming. But I've started attempting an ombre flamingo, and I just want to see what you guys think. They're not finished. I haven't finished them, but I would love to see if there would be interest in a tutorial with an ombre look. Hold on, I don't want to. These angels are really wet, and the last thing I want to do is scrape something across it. So let me move them. There we go. So I kind of worked on some ombre technique, an ombre flamingo, and I know the lighting's terrible and it doesn't show it really well, but there's a lot of blended pinks on here. So you got the top, and it kind of starts with that light pink, and it goes to like a medium into that dark shading pink. Is an ombre look something you guys would ever be interested in learning how to do? Maybe not necessarily with this pattern, or you think you would rather stick to kind of the basics on, you know, like a basic flamingo. I really have no idea with sometimes where to take the lives that we do, and you know, I have ideas, but I don't know, it's hard to feel 100% sold about something when it's brand new, and I'm not sure if I like it or I don't like it, honestly. So I haven't finished them. I need to finish them, but if you guys would like to see the ombre look, let me know. And I will definitely do a tutorial for that. But other than that, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. If y'all have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like I said, don't know when I'm going to be back on. I know I have a couple of tutorials coming up, but I believe they might be next week. Not 100%. But you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Happy Monday evening. Y'all have some fun this week. Get some painting done. Send us some photos. Send us your questions, anything that y'all have going on. And until then, we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.